Memoirs to myself. I am such a jack of all trades. I am trying to be a hobbyist. I want to say a lobbyist, an educator, and just an inspiration. To myself first, to my children, and to anybody struggling to be their best self. It's Friday night. This is my first time living on my own. It's so quiet in here. My friends are helping to raise grandchildren. I don't get to see my grandchildren that often, not because I don't want to, but in order for me to, it would take a lot on my part. And that's where I want to get to where we are just spending time with each other because it builds a relationship. Being a mom. If I knew then, how many times have we said it? If I knew then what I know now, the things I would do differently. Lord, Lord, Lord. And it's funny that I even say, Lord, I can keep saying it, but at this juncture in my life, my thoughts on religion have changed. Never saw myself being in this state of mind, in this conscious mind that I'm in now. Oh my goodness, my outlook on everything is so different. And it's challenging because while I was a child under my parents' roof, it was hard for me to accomplish the goals or, to aspire to the dreams that I had for myself because of lack of support and resources. So even raising my own children, trying my best financially to make sure we had everything we needed was hard. And the reason why it was hard is because I was doing things out of order. I have 3 sons and just got married, and even my marriage now is not what I would have it be spiritually. So that's another test of my will on, just being the type of person that I spiritually want to be. In this flesh, the person you see on this video, my hair, the shape of my face, my skin complexion, my skin texture, my tattoos, my clothing, it is not me. It's not me. I put on what I like, what makes me feel good. I used to really care about, I guess, being cute. And now I just want to be me spiritually. Like, that's the best thing that I can put on, to have a good spirit and be able to, make people feel good when they're around me. Other spirits feel good when they're around me. I'm a jack of all trades, and it's challenging because I want to do everything, but I don't want to do anything a whole bunch. I get tired of things very easily. So what I do, to support myself has to be versatile where I can do a lot of things. And that's why I love, just being an inspiration and working with kids, because our children are blank slates. They don't know what they want to do when they become adults. They might see something that looks interesting or fun, but the backstory behind how you get to those careers and a way of, supporting yourself is, it involves more than just saying, okay, I want to be that. You have to, one, have an interest, a strong enough interest to where you can educate yourself on it and know a lot about it so that you can do whatever it is you're trying to do successfully. I love to do everything, mainly work with youth. But at this time, it's hard to work with youth. And to work with them on the level to where I can change the narrative of how we're living, how we were raised to be. I totally agree with how the school system is. Even as a student in elementary school, we learned that there are different learning types, but we only teach one way. Um, it was a struggle for me because I was a very energetic person. I was very artistic. I could read really good, and I could comprehend very good. But sitting down day after day to memorize something and then regurgitate it to show someone, oh, I remember it, was not learning to me. Learning to me was finding out what feels good to me, which I call myself a hobbyist. I love to make my own jewelry, and I love to make it with materials that make me feel good. I don't want to overdo anything. I know there's a boom right now with stones and crystals, but we take it from the earth, and the earth needs it. So, um, that's just something that, I have to be mindful of, and also, share that we do need to slow down on taking it from the earth. Honestly, we don't need it. We just need to connect with nature. Um, there's just so many things I don't want to be a hypocrite about. Um, I try not to get too much into what's going on in this world. Step off of watching the news because of the things that it, shows people to be, which isn't true, and it affects our way of thinking and our view of things. I don't even know why I have my glasses on right now. I'm not even reading. But the main thing I want to do is to know how things work and how we can all, obtain the lifestyle that we want to live. Um, I don't want to judge anyone on how they choose to live their life. If they, want to live extravagantly, or if they want to live off in the woods somewhere and, just live off the land. Honestly, I would like a happy medium because being social is important to me. But at the same time, I feel like we've grown up in our culture. I'm going to say I'm going to be politically correct and call it the African American culture. But just the community that was around me. I know I grew up around the same people. I constantly saw them at events and, went to school with them and wound up working with their children. We all clustered together. And for us to be in a state where we don't have willpower over the temptation that, draws our flesh, it hurts us. Growing up in the 80s, having my son in the very early 90s, and not having guidance from my elders was taken from our culture with temptations of drugs, temptation of, wanting to have a better life. Single moms had to go to work. No one's there to really govern the household, and siblings were raising each other. I know it's popular because I have a lot of friends who have gone through it, and out of my friends, very few had a dad in their house. And by the grace of the universe, I had a stepfather who treated my siblings and I like we were his natural children and with all the love he could. But he also struggled and went through drug addiction, and, the way we're raised, the things that are put in front of us that we think are important, where we want to attract the opposite sex. We want to grow up and own, a car so we can go back and forth to work. I mean, it just seems like it's not fulfilling. It's not to me, spiritually. You see people toiling for these things, and it's hard to even sit down and honestly have a conversation about how we feel. I noticed in conversations, we tend to allow our ego to dictate how we behave because we take things personally when in fact, someone is entitled to their opinion, and I should be able to tell you, well, this is how I feel, and I don't want to convince you that you should feel the way that I do, but just know me, know how I feel. And even if I don't agree with you, something's either right or it's opinion. It's a fact or it's opinion. And I just feel like there's just so much in this world. We're able to take things and manipulate them and create something like when it started, it looked nothing like this. And we feed this to ourselves. We eat this. We eat the imitation of nature. And we adorn ourselves with things that really don't bring us any value. We toil for things to, cover ourselves up and to look a certain way so that people can think or feel a certain way about us, when honestly, it just makes things worse for us. Seeing people struggle during the holidays because they can't provide what society is telling you should do during a certain time of the year, and having so many different cultures, and just feeling like you're missing out on something because we are looking to gain things instead of really embracing what we are, as a, you know, conscious being in the flesh. Like the animals, they serve a purpose to our environment, and they have a sense of, family and unity, and they stay together, and they just have a way of moving. And it seems like the more we try to, create outside of this, we make things more complicated. Just thinking about how I'm able to film this video and have a conversation with you across the airways. Like television was amazing to me, but not too long before I was born, people got radio, and they were able to, send vibrations and frequencies and sound, and now sight, visual things, through the air. And that's what I mean about manifestation. I mean, if we have those abilities, the fact that we use them to hide who we are and to dress up our flesh, and give so much for it, it just doesn't seem right. And it makes it hard for folks to just truly be who they truly want to be. People working 9 to 5 at hospitals and supermarkets and the school, and what good does it truly, do? What good does it truly do? Our children struggle in school. If they can't sit still, they want to medicate you. We have so many hospitals and, just treatment centers. People are going to jail for substance abuse, and it was put here to harm us, to distract us from just truly living. Like, I shouldn't even be walking around with a bra because of, how we were, consciously programmed. It's improper, to show your flesh. And I remember as a kid watching Shaka Zulu and seeing our people just freely, love the skin they're in. I don't want to do nothing with myself. I want to be able to get up in the morning and just go, and not have to worry about someone judging me by how I look. If my eyebrows are arched, if I have bags under my eyes, my nostrils, how my nose is shaped, I'm not going to go get my nose fixed. For what? This is my nose. This is what my parents created. I can't control how I came out the womb looking, and it should not dictate how I'm treated. You know, I just am who I am, and I want to be loved for that reason. You know, I treat everybody well, and I wish I could do more. I wish, now I don't even wish, but I'm going to get to a place, and we're going to get to a place where we can live in harmony, honestly. We have to. Otherwise, we will continue to destroy ourselves and argue and bicker about silly things. I'm going to tell y'all about something. This video is at 15 minutes, but I have to bring this up. And y'all might get mad. If you do, oh well. But I'm going to put it out there because I am really, determined to walk in my truth. And the reason why I can get along with people is because I can agree to disagree. And I know that's an old saying, we've all heard it before, but that's why it's an old saying, because it rings true. And there's value and wisdom there. You should not, and people don't talk politics and religion because people take it personally. But I'm going to put it out there, okay? I was raised as a Christian. I've always had an inquisitive mind, which made me want to know about other religions. And I remember my son coming to me and telling me that his dad told him about someone who was born before Christ and died and was resurrected. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And then as I got older and, went to the church to try to cope with some of the spiritual challenges that I was having, having children out of wedlock, raising my sons on my own, trying to teach them what I thought was, being a good man spiritually. I really got into that mindset of let go and let God, pray to God. And I would pray, and I would, study and, go to Bible study and really try to understand what it was that I was missing from my life. And I never had a passion to chase money. I've never had it. I admire the beautiful things that people have. And I think they're beautiful, but more for the artistry of it than the value that people put on it or the status that you get because you have it. That's something that's never attracted me. I grew up in an era where my peers were selling drugs heavy, at the age of 14, 86, 87, in middle school. Guys my age are making more money than their parents, and growing up in the community I grew up in, we had a nice living, a nice enough, even if you didn't have everything you wanted on your plate. We got away from the era of teaching our children how to be strong, passing on our history of where we came from, what we've been through. It honestly went away when I was in school. And when I had my son at the age of 16, I just remember really wanting to be a good mom. I was good at doing hair. I loved fashion. I loved to sew. I would make clothes as a youth. So that was something I wanted to do. But more than anything, I wanted to be a mom. I wanted to raise someone because I felt like there were things my parents were not aware of that children need. I was very conscious of how people felt and how people were treated and the attention that we needed in order to be successful. And, didn't get a lot of the attention I feel I needed or the nurturing that I needed to do the things I wanted to do. Was very athletic, wanted to go to the Olympics, wanted to go to gymnastics school, but would hear I can't afford that. And as a parent myself, I wanted to be resourceful. So I learned that, you can get scholarships to get into these programs, and just opening your mouth. If you can't afford it, go to the person in charge and say, look, I can't afford it. Is there a way? What can I do? I sent my son to private school for, for a few years, both of them. And, tuition was high to the point where I would volunteer my time and do administrative work to offset the cost of tuition. And I would try everything in the book. I have children who are different, like myself, um, probably jacks of all trades, and there is, something for us. People say, jack of all trades, master of none. I learned people who master one thing are ignorant to so much more. You know, you take a doctor and you think of him or her as being prestigious, and they get awards and accolades in this area, but they spend so much time studying this one thing that everything else is like, oh, okay, unless you have a special interest in that. But a jack of all trades is so versatile and can adapt to so much. And I think that's why I have, not only, being a woman and being emotional and being a nurturer, um, I can adapt. And I love to compromise. I want everybody to have the same level of comfort. And, just to be good. My children don't understand me. I don't quite understand myself. But I know that I have to, do what I can just to be a good person. For the most part, be a good person. I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't hurt people. I mean, I know I do. I get on people's nerves. I do. They see me as judgmental, but I'm not. I'm just vigilant. I observe things and I have my opinion. Why can't we have our opinion without you looking at it in a negative way? And honestly, I won't even say anything to you, because to each their own. We all have free will, and I feel that way about children too. Raising my own children, I felt like I wasn't a mom the way I thought other women felt about being a mom, because I saw, the authoritative side from parents with your children, and I just felt like we should give our children the same respect that we want for ourselves. Yelling at our kids, beating them, because we don't like what they did, even if they do it purposely. I mean, there are so many different ways to teach our children to do things better. And as a young parent, I never thought I would be stern, but my eldest child, whoo, man, he taught me so much about myself. And I tried my best to, raise him and give him opportunities that he, could use to do whatever he wanted to do. But I don't even want to, I'm not going to label him, but he's the type of person who wants to do it on their own. Even if it would be easier for them to take your advice, he goes against the grain. And it made it hard for me as a parent. My youngest and my oldest is this way. And my middle child, even though, he was, more on the straight and narrow of going to school, getting his grades, graduating, getting a job, staying in a, a relationship with his girlfriend. He's kind of bullheaded, and he sees things the way he sees them, and he's going to give it to you raw. And a lot of it makes sense, but the delivery sometimes to me is just like, okay, you can be a little nicer about that. But he's like, no, you got to do it like this. And I respect my children. I did not want to be and was not going to be the type of parent who would say, shut your mouth, and kids are supposed to be seen and not heard. I didn't believe in that, because I know kids have wonderful, pure honest ideas that we forget because we get tainted. You know, we go through traumas and we become guarded and, you know, what people call stuck in their ways, stubborn, you know, and egotistical. And we ain't going to do it just because we don't want you to have any glory. You know, we are like that. You know, our own race calls each other crabs in a barrel. But anywho, I mean, I'll be all day. I don't have any notes. I should really, you know, make notes. But my purpose on social media is not to, you know, get likes, but honestly to have conversation. And people will like your stuff, but having a conversation is something else. I just feel like we're in a time where we have to take back our energy and place it where it's going to do us some spiritual good. You know, watching us argue and be so divided as a people when we are just one species. You know, we are all beings, light beings in this flesh. And I think we need to learn more about who we are so that we can understand it more. You know, we put a lot of our energy and time into things that just pleases our flesh. I've been a vegan for 3 years and I was a meat-eating nut. And I've been vegan for 3 years in April, I think it is. You know, but I feel so much better. I'm 46 years old and I have a lot of energy. And I just feel better. Mentally, I feel better. And I have the, the courage, the knowledge of things I didn't have before. So now I have to have the wisdom. I have to use wisdom in my walk. So regardless of what everybody else is doing, what I'm doing right now with my life is educating myself on my spirituality, who I am as a conscious being, you know, as a spiritual being, and then how my body works, you know, what's good for my body. I'm getting phone calls. I know I didn't cover everything that I wanted to talk about, but starting businesses, I'm a life coach. I've been a life coach for years. I've been a peer educator in the schools since 2000, and I love this work. I love it because the kids that the school system says, you know, they can't learn with the rest of the kids, I can get them to do better. They just learn differently, you know. They want to be acknowledged, they want to be respected, and they want to be, you know, noticed for who they are and what they can do. You know, just because a child doesn't want to sit down and go through those 7 subjects every day doesn't make them stupid. It doesn't make them bad. It makes them different. It makes them unique. They want to stand out. They want to show you what their interests are. And that's important for everyone. I don't want to be in nobody's child line or anybody's, you know, I guess there is a place for people to, I love working on a team, but I want to do things that we need. Like, I want to know how to build a house, how to grow a garden, how to heal myself naturally. And that's not the type of information they were giving us in school. You know, we would talk about health, but not so much of the day-to-day things, you know, that we truly needed, that we can go home to our parents and say, okay, Mom, you know, we eat tomatoes and cucumbers and this and that. Now I have the knowledge to help you run the garden because your parents should already have one. I know my grandparents had one. But as stores became more popular, it took all that away from us. We didn't have to do it anymore. So it just turned into, you know, working for someone else. And for what? You know, for what? so that we can all buy the same outfit off the rack. You know, when my mother was growing up, they made their clothes. So no outfit was going to be the same. Even if you used the same pattern, your techniques were different, your fabrics were different. You know, your vision is different. You could be unique with that. But when you just go buy something off the rack, you know, that's like an orange jumpsuit to me. You know, and then the way our school system is set up, if, you know, our kids don't want to sit down and suck it in, pour it back out, then you're a behavior problem. And they feel like you should be on medication. And this medication has lots of chemicals in it, and it does cause, you know, lots of harm to our bodies because it's not natural. You know, ever since I've gone vegan, I can't get over 143 pounds. You know, it just teeters around there depending on how much I exercise. I need to exercise more, honestly, because I'm getting up in age, and as we get older, we lose muscle. And if we don't build it up and put those good fibers and things in our body, we're going to lose it. I don't want to be wrinkled. You know, I'm telling my husband, or Terry, the other day, you know, I'm getting crow's feet, you know, and I'm doing this. He was like, well, you crinkling your face up, you know, and I'm like, okay, well, you know, I don't want my body to grow old sooner than it needs to. I need this thing. I haven't done too much, you know, and I don't want to just go visit somewhere for a week. You know, I want to go and live. I want to go and live. And I should be able to go live 10 years here, or 20 years there, 30 years over here, and still have this body to where I can keep going. You know, we grow up, you know, our elders grow. I mean, my dad passed before he was 70, mid 60s, you know, and we're dying. I talk to people every day who are sick and dealing with so many health issues. And it's because of what we're being told. You should eat. You should eat that. They sell it. I saw some Little Debbie's cream pie cereal today, you know, and I'm like, I would have ate that 3 years ago. Now it's like, really? That's straight poison. It's straight poison, and I'm not being judgmental of folks who eat it. What I am saying is, why do you want to eat poison? They get us in so many ways. I used to smoke cigarettes, and the things they put in that, you know, why would they put that in there? They say, oh, it's to preserve it. It's chemicals. It's poison. Our body doesn't need it. It's like, what is that? It's killing us. You know, a lot of what we do kills us quick, you know, and we just in and out. And now we're to the point where we're having children so quickly, and we don't know enough to, you know, pour into our children spiritually. And we're dying, we're being murdered, we're being misled, we can't have a decent conversation. The house is divided, and we shouldn't be divided. We really shouldn't. You know, I've accepted who I am physically. I've accepted it. Growing up, I didn't think I was cute, you know. Had a nice build, you know, according to some folks, you know, and people tell me, you know, you're very pretty, but I see the damage that comes from caring too much about our looks. You know, you want to call certain people gold diggers because they use their looks to get money or to get things, but they couldn't use it if people didn't give it, you know. We're too sexualized. Everything's about sex. Everything. You know, everything we wear, women are altering their bodies like crazy. Like crazy. I mean, some of us may not see it on a regular, but plastic surgeons are killing it out here. You know, makeup companies are killing it out here so that we can be something other than what we are naturally. You know, over time you have children, and I want to put this out there. If you would please do your research on formulas, Similac and things like that. We really, I mean, it would do us well to be natural And it's going to be hard because we've come so far into polluting our air, polluting our earth, that a lot of stuff that grows up out of it is no good. And that's why, you know, it doesn't even pay to get things that are grown here. I don't even use honey anymore just because of how tainted, our soil is. The bees are getting tainted pollen and pollinating that honey, and the nutritional value isn't what we think it is. Um, I mean, there are some things, foods that we can eat, but honestly, they need to be eaten in moderation. And I mean, very small moderation, just because it does more harm to our bodies than good. And I don't know it all. I learn a little bit every day. I'm going to continue to learn. It's getting late in the day. I don't know what time it is. And I have so many things to do. I made some healing butters with mango and cacao butter. And it has oregano and tea tree oil in it. And I'm learning about that. And it helps with your skin. And it helps with scrapes and bruises and things like that. And this is all natural, you know. And I do it because I don't want to have to give anyone my money if I don't have to. And it's more economical for me to make it myself. So for the few dollars I pay for the ingredients, I can make pounds of this. And it's wonderful. There's no preservatives in it. I just feel awesome. And I hope we can continue to talk. I know this conversation has been all over the place. Just who I am. I'm talking to myself, honestly. I'm just sitting in front of my phone talking. I have some jewelry to make. I'm going to go to the swap meet with Mama tomorrow. I'm going to, restring some of our bracelets. I have these bracelets he bought. They're wealth bracelets. And I want to say these black stones are obsidian. Good protection stone. Look it up. I can tell you, some things, but you should know for yourself what it is. I love my stones. This is a love stone. There's some African turquoise in there. I really don't remember what it is, what it does. I know it's a good thing. There's just so many of them. And I just want to surround myself with good things. I've been here in my home now since April, and been on my own for a couple of months now. It's very quiet. I'm used to having kids around me and just hearing, and I had a few of them over the summer. It was beautiful. But I've been a mom since I was 16. And I have some hard-headed children. And God bless them. But, to each their own. I love my kids. I'll always be here to give them guidance. And, hopefully I can shower them with money. But I would never give anybody money if they weren't handling their business. As far as taking care of themselves and trying to pursue, improving themselves and being there for others. If you're the type of person who just wants to get it in, you just want to lay up, I can't support that. There's just too much that needs to be done. And as much as I disagree with the school system, this is the society that we live in. So we have to, take care of our own. It's not the easiest thing to do, but, we have to do our part. So I work, I pay my taxes. I had to pay a lot to start my businesses. I didn't really get into that. Being a life coach, I've been doing it forever with youth, and I really love helping people to explore what their interests are and really thinking about why you want to do it, how it's going to bring you any joy, how is it going to help, to improve your way of life and contribute to improving your family's way of life. And I love being artistic, and I love making my jewelry. It's not something that I want a big store and I want to make millions and billions of dollars from, but I really do want to just be an encouragement for folks who struggle to just get up every day and be their best selves, because you can do it. You just got to want to do it. That's the only way change is going to come. You have to want the change. So if you want to, pursue starting a business, going back to school, coping with your children. I know a lot of people struggle with, disciplining their children and getting their children to listen. I wish I could go back to where my youngest was born, to the day he was born would be beautiful. My patience level is like through the roof now. My oh goodness. Anywho, I love you guys. This is me. I am AsIAM Love. You guys may know me as something else, but that is no longer my name. I have evolved, and I want to continue to evolve, and I'll just be back. Hopefully you guys will talk to me. You'll ask me questions. We can help big each other up and pursue our dreams. But I guess, we'll see. And I'm going to post this video to my truth group. All truth. All truth. I don't care how hard it is. There's some things that I'm going to tell you about myself that it's going to be hard for me to do, but I know I need to do it because I have to get comfortable in the skin. People say they love the skin they're in. Not everybody. Some people do, especially when you're considered cute by society. You have perfect teeth and, perfect skin, perfect bone structure, nice, fine, wavy hair. I have kinky hair. Honestly, I have to put gel on it because, it's curly. Anybody with kinky hair know it's just tight curls, but my hair is dry. So if I put a little bit of, moisturizer and stuff on it, it'll just curl up. So I just do that to it. Yeah, and I love my stones. I just love having them on me. I got to be careful with this one because it's kind of heavy. But, I make those things. You guys can be making them at home. But we'll talk more. I'm looking forward to talking more. If you guys don't talk back, I'll just be talking to myself. But I hope you do, and I hope I get to grow with you guys and, just be able to walk with each other. I see this picture in my head of, Martin Luther King and them walking through Selma, Alabama, and they just want it for us. They want it for us, and we have to want for ourselves. I stopped watching drama, but recently I have picked it back up, but I've noticed that it's starting to form itself in my life, so I've had to push that away again. Trying not to even turn my computer on, because when I say my plate is full, my plate is full. I've had to push off my insurance test until February. I was supposed to come home, do some work with, the community in Pittsburgh, and it's just a lot, I'm with the NAACP here in their Educational Justice Committee, and I'm not driving, so I can't get around to anything. I got a truck sitting in Pittsburgh that nobody's doing anything with. I wish it was here with me, but yeah. So in the meantime and in between time, I work from home. I do, customer, retention. Try to get folks from canceling their subscription for adult diapers. And I love my members. I get so much wisdom from our elders, and it is beautiful. And it's amazing that the knowledge that I have, they don't have. I meet some people and I tell them about some of the nutritional changes I've made in my life, and I'm texting these folks, and giving them the information. We should take care of ourselves physically. A lot of the food that we eat, our body doesn't know what to do with it, and this is why we have a lot of what they call obese and people who have store a lot of fat in their bodies. It's because your body doesn't know what it is, and it's like, okay, I'm just going to sit it to the side and it's just going to sit there, you know. But honestly, I think, we should get away from sex as much. And y'all might think I'm crazy. Sex is a beautiful thing, but it has destroyed us in so many ways. We got all these illegitimate children, kids who aren't getting raised, kids in the system, hateful relationships between a man and woman as far as their children are concerned. The judicial system is just overrun with issues with kids, who aren't being raised properly. And it all starts because we feel horny and we want to get our rocks off, and we complain about each other all the time. Like, I have to, what is it, digress. I think I'm using the word right. I got to lay it down. I have to, and I'm going to be here for quite a while. So as soon as the universe puts that person in my life who is really going to be a spiritual being with me, then we're going to take it to a whole new level. It ain't going to be no wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, you got to use jellies and all this good stuff, and talking about how it should just oneness. I know you heard about it before, and I can honestly say I felt it, but achieving it to a level where I can ascend above this flesh, y'all probably can't even phantom them thoughts, but I can. People dream about being famous. I dream about being able to disappear, come back and forth from this flesh when I feel like it. That's what I want. People tell me I give off a good energy, and that's because I genuinely love life. I love creation. I used to be a Christian. I am no longer a Christian. Love Christ, love Jesus. That is my brother. But Jesus was trying to teach us something that we don't even pay attention to. There are things written in the Bible that are truthful. The way they're formed is kind of funny. I think, it teaches fear. It focuses too much on the death of Christ instead of the life of Christ and the things that he told people they could do. Not that he did, but because of their faith in him, they did themselves, But, that's for another conversation. I can't even go to church. I can't go to church because if I go to church, there's going to be a lot of questions. And, I would like to go to Bible study so that we can have this conversation, not to prove anybody wrong, but just for us to share the knowledge that we get. I know things that I didn't know. And now that I know them, it's like, I can't believe I spent all those years going to church. Giving up all, how much money I gave in church? Ooh, Lord. Anywho, I'm down at 48 minutes. I have no idea what I said to you guys in this video. All I know is it is time to expose myself. That's what social media is for. You guys can have your opinions. Share them. Voice your opinions. I don't care what it is. You can say whatever. You love me, you hate me, you think I'm smart, you think I'm stupid. But my point is to get with like-minded people and raise to a level way above this physicalness, But I have a lot to do. I got to do some pull knots on a few bracelets, finish up a couple of pieces that I'm going to take to the swap meet with me tomorrow. Put some labels around here so it looks a little cuter than this. I just grabbed these up from the dollar store. I wanted these metal tins, but they never have them. I seen them one time and I didn't feel like standing in line. I should have got them because you get like 4 to 6 depending on what size they are for just $1. And I make my own labels. Yeah. I do that on my computer. And I'm going to make one that goes around here that tells you the uses for these. Like, this stuff heals so much stuff that we deal with just from the stuff that we eat. I'm not going to call it crap, but that's what I'm thinking. But we eat some things that, we're poisoning ourselves. We are truly poisoning ourselves, and they call it legal. They can sell it. They say, it's not harmful in small doses, but who wants to take poison, even in small doses? If somebody say, it won't kill you to just take a little lick of that, that rat poison. You're not going to go lick that rat poison, but they put it in our food and we eat it, and we eat every day, and we eat a lot. So that's a lot of poison, you know, diabetes, cancer, just all the crap that we get comes from our diet. My doctor told me, you're pre diabetic. And I said, oh, really? Well, how'd that happen? She was like, it's hereditary. I said, oh, you mean my diet is hereditary? Because disease isn't hereditary. This is something that we created by putting garbage in our bodies. And she was like, yeah, you're right. But she wasn't going to tell me. But anywho, I'm going to go ahead, get busy, and, I guess I'll see y'all later. I have a few groups. I have two that I really haven't had a chance to get around to, which is my book group where I like to talk about books that I love to read. And a few, I hope y'all, go and look them up. The Alchemist, the Celestine Prophecies, and of course the Emerald Tablets. That's first and foremost. If you have an opinion on those, share it with me, because I'm telling you, I'm here every day. I love my family, but they don't think like I do. They call me the voice of gloom and doom, but I'm the type of person that if it ain't working, why we gonna keep doing it? I want to be accountable. And I had a conversation with my beautiful niece, and we don't always see eye to eye, and we get on each other's nerves. But this is what I didn't tell y'all. I like Trump. I know y'all think, Trump is a jerk, and the stuff he's been doing is whack. I mean, I don't even have any words for the president. But the Trump that came before he was president, to me, night and day. And he was a person that I followed. I didn't follow him because I'm not a fan of anyone. Like, I like Mary J. Blige, but I had to quit listening to her music because it's kind of sad. Not kind of sad, it is sad. And it just gives too much attention to the things that go wrong. I don't want to focus on things that go wrong. I want to focus on the solution of things. But anywho, I really did like Trump because I knew who he was before he started giving Obama the business. But he didn't take me as the type of person who was so boisterous. He was behind the scenes. He was a businessman. So to see him in this light and to see how his wife treated him made me feel like maybe this isn't really Trump. I know some people, they get into, conspiracies, but I honestly feel like either something was done to him or he is no more. That could just be somebody who looks like Trump. Who knows? We can do things, but my niece and I don't agree on this, and that's okay. She's entitled to her opinion. I'm entitled to mine. I definitely agree that the things he's done during his presidency have been outlandish, weird. I mean, y'all know it was weird. Like, it's crazy that he was even allowed to be president. But I feel like he had a lot more power as a businessman. I don't know everything about politics, but I know that they, campaign for money to get themselves out there in front of people so that they can get the popular vote. And Trump was a man who was behind the scenes. He was probably buying politicians. Why he would want to be one, I have no idea. Obama didn't have any power, and people think Trump had so much power. But collectively, as a government, they have to make a lot of decisions. Didn't really keep up with this presidency. I honestly didn't even know who Pence was. I heard his name a couple of times. I know I heard before that he was vice president, but y'all, that's how out of the loop I am. I'm here. I'm focused on who I'm going to be spiritually, and I want to put good energy out there. When we focus on certain things, it creates it. You know how you'll bring something up that's not good and people will say, don't burn that bread on me? That's real. That's real. You speak it, it happens. You think about it, it manifests. So I want my thoughts to be pure. And yeah. So, all right. I'm at 54 minutes, 50 seconds. So I'm going to jump on off of here, guys. I'm going to post this to my group Truth. If you're not in my group Truth, you can ask to be added. You can look it up. It's just Truth. Um, and I have my Love Lessons group. And honestly, they all just mesh together. Love Lessons is just a way for us to, share some words of wisdom with one another until I'm truly deep into, my life coaching business. I have a couple of kids that I'm going to start doing workshops with just because their parents understand that they need help keeping their children occupied and giving them something constructive to do. I had 3 7-year-olds with me over the summer. Every morning during the week, I did my work from home as a retention specialist, and they were right here beside me at the bar, either on a computer, working on some writing, doing something constructive. And they could sit there beside me while I'm on my headphones, and you didn't know they were there for the most part. And my husband did help me out, but for the most part, they kicked it with me, and we had a beautiful summer, and I just love raising kids because I feel like I know I need to be an example of we don't need to yell at our kids and we don't need to beat them, and we can get better results. I feel like when you beat and yell at your kids, you create in them anger, you create in them impatience, you show them that if you're mad at someone, you can yell and you can hit. I don't understand why we feel like telling assume our children are going to, get the message that because we're the adults, we can do certain things and they can't. They're going to grow up and do it. They're going to do it behind your back, and eventually it's just going to come out, and that's a proven fact. But, anywho, I keep saying I'm going to get off of here, but I have some work to do. I got some jewelry to make. This is copper. I don't know if you guys know about copper, but it is a great conductor of energy. That's why I like to pair it with the stones. You can't see them, but I'm making these tiger's eye dangles to go on some earrings, and I'm making everything myself. They're getting a little more elaborate. These are just some hoops with copper wrapped around the stone. It's simple, but it's not that easy. I tear my fingers up. That's why I can't wear nails. I've never been able to wear nails. If I got them done, I had them done for a hot second because, like I said, I had 3 boys. They played football. They skateboarded. They were rough. And I washed a lot of toilets. I cleaned a lot of toilets. Scrub floors, whatever you can think of, I was scrubbing. Even with my hands, with clothes, trying to get. I'm telling you. But everything's not for everybody. I know everybody's not going to see things the way I see them, and that's good because we need differences. We need, people who do different things. And my thing is, I love working with kids. I like teaching. I love teaching. If it's something I'm interested in. Very soon, I'm going to start a garden. I'm going to start, doing some compost. Trying to get comfortable where I am. I like it here just because it's a change. It's very sunny here. I love Pittsburgh, but I honestly don't want to go home. I would love to own a home there so I can come visit, but I want my home to be throughout this earth. I want to go everywhere. So getting a passport soon. This corona stuff is going to end. Our elders have been through this before. With different diseases and just economic issues. So we're going to get past it. I hope you guys see it that way because the more we think on a positive vibe, the more we will manifest positive, behaviors and actions and, things to progress. But anyway, love you. Talk to y'all later. I am now at 60 minutes. It is 59, 30, 31, 32. Going skating on Sunday. I did hear that Floyd Mayweather bought the skating rink out here. I hope he doesn't tear it down because we need the outlet. I'm going to keep this under an hour. That's crazy that I was even talking this long. That's an hour out of my day that I could have been doing something productive, but I wanted to get this video out. So God bless everybody. Universe bless. I love y'all, and peace out.